Millie, I'm a addy dropper, cause on my mama we get busy. Another man down in my city, Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama, I'm just tryna touch a millie. I'm a addy dropper, cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision. I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing. I'm shooting up with precision. Red beam on the barrel to give myself some assistance. My brother come through like sniper, he knock you off from a distance. Big foe with no foe, I'm balling just like a piston. We get the... Damn, heard it's another man down in my city, Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama, I'm just tryna touch a millie. I'm a addy dropper, cause on my mama we get busy. Another man down in my city, Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama, I'm just tryna touch a millie. I'm a addy dropper, cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision. I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing. I'm shooting up with precision. Red beam on the barrel to give myself some assistance. My brother come through like sniper, he knock you off from a distance. Big foe with no foe, I'm balling just like a piston.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the El Nino Podcast. I'm Eladio Nino, and this is Real Everyday People. So before I even get started to say anything, man, shout out to the Detroit Lions. Them boys are doing their thing for sure, man. I had the privilege. I got an invitation. I went to the game. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I was very comfortable, and just I had great seats, and absolute blessing, man. And I love to see it. I think that our city needs that. You know, it lifts the morale, and it lifts the standards. You know what I'm saying, of who we are and what we represent here in Detroit. But today, man, we got a special guest here. I'm honored to have him here. Actually, him and his father. These guys been making noise. They doing their thing. I love it on a positive tip, man. And you know, without any further ado, man, we got my man Kid Jay. What's up with you?
What's up, my guy?
My guy, and we got his father over here, Boss Man. That's right.
What up, though?
You know, that's his manager and everything else.
Yes, sir.
So what's up, man? How you guys doing?
I'm doing great,
I'm chilling.
man.
This is good. Go ahead, Pop.
Hey, I just want to say I appreciate being here on this podcast. I love it. It's beautiful in here. Yeah, just living, man. Trying to live the dream.
Ain't no doubt about it.
I was gonna tell you, I'm glad we was able to connect off the Princess boat. So I appreciate you for having me here.
Shout out to Veronica and Serenity for
Man,
sure.
definitely. Big shout out to Serenity Atkinson and Veronica Guajardo. They had a dope backpack giveaway event, and that's how we ended up connecting. I was hosting the event. You did a live performance. It was dope.
Yeah.
And you know, it's definitely a privilege, and look how far we are now. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to you guys. Are always doing, you know, good things, positive things. They're always breaking bread and networking and connecting everybody. So, you know, much love to you guys. We appreciate you. And but yeah, man, let's you know, tell the people a little bit about who you are, where you from, you know.
Well, my name is Kid Jay. I'm from out here around the Detroit area, Ypsilanti, and I make positive rap music. So what I mean by positive rap music is clean rap music. So I try to keep the whole violence and the curse words out of my music to make my music different than other rappers. So
that's really dope. So is it challenging for you to be able to do that? How
A
easy
little
or hard
bit.
is it for you?
It
you
is
know?
a little bit because when I first started doing music, I was using the words. I ain't gonna lie, but once I was trying to be different and I gotta put it. It was challenging for me because. I'm going blank on you, coach.
So you used to make music with profanity in it,
Yeah.
and then you decided to take it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the challenges to doing that, because we are accustomed when it comes to rap music, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, all of the above. You know, no bars held. You know, so for you to be able to produce clean music,
Yeah.
like that's setting a whole new standard. That's
That's the challenge on itself, because everybody expect the same thing. So I think that's a challenge too, for him to stay in that lane, because it's always pressure to say, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do it that way? And it's like, no, that ain't the way, you know. So I know he always battled with that too. His friends say, why don't you do a little cussing? But that ain't, but
I've had friends tell me if I started cursing, then my career would blow up. I was like, nah.
No, I don't believe that. I mean, you know, you really giving me like, you know, Will Smith vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody had something to say about
Like
Will
the
Smith and his music.
500 person to say that.
and I mean, he blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his career took off and into other realms of things that made him even more successful. But at the end of the day, he was able to prove to the world that you don't necessarily need profanity or talk about, you know, negative things to be able to be successful and
Right.
make good music. And I mean, till his day, I mean, the music he made 20, 30 years ago is still bangers. You know
Summertime.
what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I don't care where
let me
you
say
are,
let
you
me
know?
say this too. I think, you know, everybody is it's a lot of repetitive same thing. You know, you want to find your own lane. For artists that want to find, you know, this is for the artists too that can hear me. You want to be as big as you can be, but you want to find your own lane and blow that lane up and be different. That would make you stand out, being different. Because if you jump in, if it's almost like a pot of the gumbo. It all need the ingredients to be good, but everything in the gumbo ain't good. It just go together. So
That's
you
right.
just be that singled out piece that's just a little different than what's in the pot.
So let's talk a little bit about your upcoming, as your childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like what was it like growing up as a child?
It was hard, but at the same time, it wasn't like we was like, you know, struggling. Like my parents always made sure I had a roof over my head, but
And you were raised with both your parents?
yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But I always say that my parents were doubted from like day one, because my mom had me at such a young age. You know, she was still in school. My dad was out of school, and there were people saying that she wasn't gonna graduate. And my mom graduated with a high point average.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
So, that's why. So I have a song out called "Golden Child." So basically, I
Okay.
shout that song out to them because I feel like I'm the one that has to give back to them for everything that they did for me, type thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's really dope, man. And you know, to be inspired by your mother and for her to not so much prove everybody wrong, but she
Right.
beat the statistics.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because statistically, it's common. You know what I'm saying, for young mothers to fail. You know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
even not to fail, but just to make a lot of errors where, you know, life is hard. You know what I'm saying,
Right.
and it impacts, you know, your kids as well. You know, where your kids, you know, they end up you know, carrying the trauma that's passed on to them through, you know, their parents' trauma and everything that they've endured. And, you know, a lot of times when your parents have been through things and haven't healed from them, they pass on that baggage to the future generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you live your life with animosity in your heart and you don't even know where it came from.
Yeah.
You know? But what's also important, though, is that you had the balance of having a strong mother and having a father present.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
man, when I first met you guys, I was just, you guys was just so admirable. You know what I'm saying? And I was, you know, so inspired because, you know, your guys' presence. You know what I'm saying? And how you guys go together. And even when your pops pulled up on me, because I was hosting, he's like, "Listen, man, this is my son, bro. I need you to come
need you
at
to
it
be on
like
point."
this and like that and like this." And I loved it. I respected it so
Right.
much. I was like, you know what, bro? You can take the mic,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I want you to do it because it was so much. There was so much to you.
Yeah.
There was so much to your presentation.
Right.
I didn't want to leave nothing out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
I
So I'm
appreciate
like,
it.
bro, I was like, why don't you take the mic and do it, bro? You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because, you know, I wanted you to get everything that you had coming.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Before we get too far in the podcast, man, I wanted to shout out the big homie, that guy, Trick. He's doing a lot of big things with my son as far as doing some management with him as well.
Trick, what
yeah,
up, though?
big things coming, GSM, baby. But yeah, so it's just been a very great journey. America's Got Talent. Steve Harvey is real close with Kid
Yes,
J.
yeah, let's talk about
yeah, it's
that.
a lot.
America's Got
Yeah.
Talent, bro. Like, that's really dope.
Yeah, man.
You know, to even get that opportunity, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, no matter what, like, how many people can say I made it there, you know?
Right. No, what's crazy is that a couple years before, they actually denied me, and then they kind of like got rid of my confidence and everything. So I like worked my way back up, and then eventually when it was coming back around season 16, I was like, you know what? Why not reach out to them? And then they sent the email back. Then that's when we started to do like the virtual auditions, and then that's when we got the tickets to fly out there. Everything went so fast. It was surreal.
Wow, that's really dope, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, where did you guys end up going? Where did you have to fly to? And what
we
were
went
the
to,
preparations like?
So we was in Pasadena,
in
California.
Pasadena.
We was right down the street from where they play the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
We went to COVID year, so we really couldn't do too much. We was getting tested all the time, so we couldn't really leave. But we could, we could go around. We was at a great hotel where they had a outdoor mall, and they had everything that you would think that America's Got Talent would give you. So it was beautiful. Everything went well. Besides that, I mean, Terry Crews, when he seen Jay, he was like, "Hey, Kid
man.
Jay." I know, and Jay was like,
Yeah,
"Man, he
yeah.
knows me."
It was like
yeah.
a moment to where as soon as he called me out, I was like, "Kid Jay, my guy, my man, or whatever." Me and Pops looked at each other like, "He talking about us?" Like,
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so dope,
Dope,
man.
so.
To not, you recognize him, but he recognized you,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Exactly.
Terry Crews, man.
Shout
Shout
out
out to
to
them
T.
Flintstones, all
Crews.
them boys in Flint. Free
Yeah.
my guy Popeye, man. Much love to you. And speaking of Trick, it's crazy because the same way I met you, that's how I met Trick, bro. I was at a photo shoot at Hart Plaza that Veronica and Serenity invited me to, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Trick's coming." I was like, "Damn, for real?" I was like, "That's dope." So we did like a whole photo shoot at Hart Plaza and then over there by the Fist and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just about a month ago, I had his brother Diesel on here.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Shout out to Uncle Diesel, Mr. Tubi himself.
My
Yeah,
man.
no, that's what I call. I call him the
himself.
king of Tubi movies,
Oh,
man.
man.
You know.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all don't know already, that look that he gives you in the movies is a real look. It looks like that all the time. You know?
He never smiles.
Yeah,
Never
never.
seen him smile.
He's always in role, huh?
Yeah.
He's always playing a role.
Yeah, so.
But man, he's doing his thing, bro, and I love it. I applaud him. You know what I'm saying? Just being progressive and trying to motivate others to get into that type of business. As far as acting, producing, writing. Like there's so many different components that go to that.
Right.
You know, what
Man,
I'm
it's
saying?
it's so much stuff that I will say that Uncle Trick and his family does. That's amazing. The band is one of them. Like he does, you just being involved in that rotation with the fam and being honorary family members of Trick and his family is beautiful to watch. The work that they put in and it's inspiring to us and to put in back to us, and we put in back with them, and it's all a collab of beautifulness.
Yeah,
love
because
the
I
shit.
know you mentioned that he does a lot of mentoring with your son.
Yeah.
You know? What is that like? What's that experience like, bro?
Oh man, I'm okay. So at first, you think that your music and everything is perfect until you get in the studio with Trick,
Say.
and then you feel like you're doing everything wrong. But I mean, what can you tell a platinum recording artist?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I thought I had things down as far as tonality and everything, and he basically took me through a whole boot camp to basically teach me tonality.
Yeah.
So now when I hit the studio, it's a little different. I'm more mindful about what I'm putting out. You know what I mean?
He's
So,
a doctor of music.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's what his doctor. He's his doctor of music. So I was like, okay, well, the doctor makes everything right.
Mhm.
So
That's
Yeah,
really
so
dope.
there'd be like moments in the studio if I don't do something right, he'd be like, "Oh no, nephew, redo that, nephew." and then yeah,
that ain't it. He cut it
yeah,
straight off.
yeah,
That ain't it.
that ain't it.
But I mean,
I need some more.
when you putting in that work and that time with somebody and you want it to be right,
Right.
and then you want the person on the other end, which would be Jay, that understands that Trick is doing it for him to make it right,
Absolutely.
and then you just go through with
Does it
and
get
make right.
frustrating for you?
Oh,
Have you
the
ever
first
disagreed?
time-
Have you ever disagreed? Like, man,
Okay, so the
Been a lot of
the,
disagree and agree.
It was the first time we was in the studio, and it was like the first time he ever, I guess, corrected me or checked me, or wherever you want to put it. And I was like, but it's supposed to sound like this. And he like, nah, nephew, try it this way. And then we ended up going with the way he chose, and it was perfect for the song. But
Okay.
yeah, that was like the first time I was ever like, but I'm doing it right. And he was like, no, you're not hearing me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah.
well, he's very experienced, you know what I'm
Very.
saying,
Right.
in music. So, it's definitely important to take heed, to advice, you know,
Right.
because I'm sure he has a certain ear for things and stuff like that. And like you said, he's in place to help you progress, you know
Right.
what I'm saying, and to help you cultivate your craft.
Shout out to the Harvey Foundation. That's what I meant to say too. Steve is great too, Kid J. So we had to put Steve out there
Man,
as well.
that's so dope, man. That is great, bro.
Shout out to
That's-
Mr. Harvey.
That's a blessing, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To be in the presence of all these, successful people. And like they say, man, if you run with wolves, you're gonna learn how to howl. If you run with eagles, you're gonna learn how to fly. You know? So, you on your way, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Spread your wings. You still young, you still got a lot of growing and creating to do, you know what I'm saying? And I can't wait. I'm gonna sit back and watch your growth, man.
Yeah, I
you know?
appreciate it.
And I love that you being able to come here and share your story and talk about your talent that you have, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
So you
that's-
did Backwoods and Bonfires too.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
It was pretty cool. It wasn't really what I expected, but I had a great time, and I got to link with a lot of artists that I haven't seen in a minute. So like Flex Live, I got to meet with my cousin Polo. I got to see Miles Dope. So yeah, so it was good as far as performance wise and social networking with other artists. So yeah.
So how hard is it to want to do like features with other rappers and but they use profanity in their music, you know?
It's very hard, but that's where it comes with compromise. Because
Okay.
I've done songs with people who have
Dumbed it down.
like crazy
Yeah.
profanity, and they will at least dial it back when they know that they're dealing with me and my
Yeah.
fan base.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's really dope, man.
Shout out to G-Mac Cash. That's probably my favorite collab that Kid J has too.
Oh yeah, I
It's
just seen a
awesome.
picture, I think, on Instagram with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
really dope,
Yeah,
man.
that's like my big brother.
Yeah, was you able to make any good connections when you was out there in Pasadena?
Ooh.
Oh, Mr. Chow. Shout out to Mr. Chow. He was.
Mr. Cherry.
Oh.
Oh no,
you're right,
Mr. Cherry.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
it was Mr. Cherry. That's what it was. I thought it was Mr. Chow.
Where was he from? Was he from Japan? Oh no,
He-
Korea. I think
Korea,
He was from Korea. He's
yeah.
from Korea. His name was
Sorry,
Mr.
Mr.
Cherry.
Cherry, yeah.
Y'all need to go look up Mr. Cherry. He had this act where he bashed walnuts on the ground with his butt, and he was like skipping on to the next one over.
out of here.
And it was cool the way we met him because we was in the little holding area before they came and got you to do your audition, and he had this box thing that when he spoke his language into it, it came out in English.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That was dope.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh,
was
that's
dope.
sweet,
And then
man.
when we spoke English into it, it came out in Korean.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
so
that's
he understood
crazy.
us.
And he
Yeah.
continued to follow us. He had a baby. We seen him have a kid. We told him congratulations. He's always supported since then. And like I said, we were two different cultures, met in a room full of a whole bunch of people. He actually made his way to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a good connection with him. We actually was Rest Her Soul, Nightbird. We was in America's. We was in that season with her. Beautiful voice, beautiful person. We met a lot of beautiful people. We connected with a lot of beautiful people, but
Oh, that's-
unfortunately,
that's dope.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
And you Diamond Cut Management.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
yeah.
You know?
Hey, I started off as dad, then I became Poppinger, then I became manager, then I had to come up with my name and my LLC, and it was another Diamond Cut Management, but it was, I don't know where we had some mix-ups, but Sweets, Big Sweet said, "Where'd you get that name from?" When I first met him in Trick, I was like, well, he's like, that was my name, right? We laughed about it, but we had something different on the name, and then I know he did It's All Raw, and then we kind of like, it was like, we just keep doing your thing, nephew. It's all good. We laughed about it, but I just started from the bottom, let my son rap his way up, put a LLC on it, try to make some money in these little crevices, and
has it been lucrative monetary wise?
Yeah, it's the ball is rolling now. Like we getting it from every different angles. You know what I mean? Facebook money, streaming money. You got to just put your hands a little bit everywhere into you, and then you do a lot of hustling for our shows and events, and you just got to learn how to save, learn what shows to do with, learn who to mess with, and keep things flowing that way.
Well,
it's a lot
daddy,
of rock.
He got you though by his side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how did you learn the business? Who taught you the business?
Well, believe it or not, my cousin Dooley. Shout out to my cousin Dooley. He passed away, unfortunate event, but he did a tour with the Hot Boys and BG and all of them, and then my uncle was into music, and then like we're musically inclined, and then Polo Frost is our cousin, and we got a few others, but we come from a predominantly musical family.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you guys got that in your blood. You guys you guys born with talent then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Athletes and musicians.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good positive future.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started doing music?
I didn't put out my first song until I was like 15? About 15 years old.
15.
Okay.
I put out a song with a music video called Better Be. It's still out to this day. It got like, I think like 2,000 to 4,000 views, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my first ever song. But
it was in the snow. It was so cold, but it was a fresh video.
And then at the end, it's kind of like cringe for a little bit, because at the end, my pops, he come out the garage and he handed me the money. I'm only 14 years old at then, and then I'm walking off, and then
we was just learning. We didn't know
who shot the video.
Shout out to Six, Out the Box TV.
Oh, okay.
Now I Six, don't knock me for my brain, but I know Mob Diva too. But they have multiple things that they do with the community, and they shoot videos for all the youth. And he's a great director. Yeah.
What do you guys think about the females that are in the rap game now?
Terrible.
I mean, man.
Oh man.
Listen, that's
the
all
jig
I hear
is
on
up, man. The jig is up, man.
Pops was talking about industry plants. That's what he said.
Agendas, man. Agendas, man.
No, I ain't got a problem with like the Cardis and the Nickies, because they can be somewhat lyrical and they feel like it. But I mean, we talking about like the Ice Spices and like the Sexy Reds
and the Silkies,
like
do you really want your daughters listening to that?
That's ratchet music.
Yeah, it's just
that
ratchet.
That all the ratchet.
And that's how it seems like that's what they push that agenda. But I think it's getting a little watered down and lame. I think they really want MCs back, and I'm not taking nothing from the ladies. There's some sweet female rappers out there. I like Scarlett. There's a few of them I can name.
Scarlett, Young and May.
P Dot, that's my girl. She, it's a couple I can name. But the vulgarness, man, it's no content. It's nothing to it. It's no feeling. It's no bass feeling music. It's just the way they feel at that moment, and they want to express how that is. And we like life stories. Like Jay like to do life stories. I don't like shout out rap where it's just not. It's an art. So you got to take your time and make some art.
And got some intention.
Yeah. Now it's just some of it's just thrown out there.
But that's just what it is. Like, everybody living for the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, whatever's popping like right now.
Yeah.
I work in Greektown on the weekends. I help do population control and mediate between community and law enforcement. And it's like a car show. When you at Greektown on Monroe Street, like, you see all the lavish trucks, cars, you know what I'm saying, coming up the strip, but that's all you hear, bro. Ski, you know what I'm saying? Like, they super turned, you know what I'm saying?
And listen, we will say this. Me and Jay don't have no problem with no artist. If that's your craft, that's your craft. We just answering. Everybody has an opinion. We giving our opinion.
Yeah,
we don't,
absolutely.
In our opinion is that we don't listen to it. That's
not at all.
Yeah, no, I
Hey, but that's
understand. Yeah, you entitled to that.
unapologetically an answer. Like I say it to say, I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you, but I don't like your music.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, yeah, you are entitled to that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is, you know, and once you accept people for that, then then you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know,
What I really want to put out there too. They always say, "Well, you grew up in the days with Master P and all of them and that," but they don't see that. Like Ice Cube went to school. He went to college. Master P went to college. They were still doing things.
I think they have their own college now.
They were going to school. Yeah, I mean, she comes straight off from wherever she was working, Wendy's, and tell you her booty hole brown. And all of a sudden she's a star. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just it was nothing to that base. You know what I mean? Master P could have rapped or he could have stayed in school. Like they still was pushing for greatness outside of whatever they were doing or saying. It was just
and
art.
they had a plan B back then.
Yeah, now
then you had a plan B.
Oh man,
they got plan B's.
Man, listen, the drill rappers tell you I'm gonna shoot you right now in the rap, and they be serious.
They be serious.
They be serious.
Yeah.
It's supposed, like I said, it's supposed to be art. They didn't made it to where it's the game's a little dangerous. I tell my son all the time, he has one of probably the worst jobs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's like how do you survive in that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know why it separates you from the rest. You know what I'm saying? But does it do you a disservice? You know what I'm saying? Or do you think that's what's actually going to push you? You know what I'm saying? Past everything else, all the other challenges everybody going to go.
No,
I mean, you don't got beef, you don't got ops,
right.
you ain't disrespecting nobody,
Well,
so
the
you already
the-
doing good.
The rappers
you know?
that everybody look up to loves that guy. The Sadas and all, Sada say,
Yeah.
hey,
BDZ,
or everybody comes and
So, I feel like it don't make me no difference. I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like
Kinda
I
earned his
wouldn't
respect.
be any farther.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's just a lot of rappers today, what they rap about, even if it's not who they are, they have to portray the image. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
To
to
sell the music.
reflect the
Sell the
music.
music.
You know what I'm saying? But there's real life consequences to that, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it seems like every time a new artist comes out, the only way that people would pay attention to them is if they have ops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
Like you
gimmick,
can't
yeah.
be no real rapper if you ain't beefing with nobody.
yeah.
Cause who I'm gonna talk about? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I don't like drill at all. They can sit here and say what they want. Whatever city or state you may be in, drill is just exactly what it is.
It's
You're
just-
talking about killing people.
It's just telling on yourself
Yeah,
though ain't
hey.
ever been cool
I don't like
nowhere.
that
you know what I'm
music. I
saying?
don't-
When
I
you
don't-
talk about
they're trying
I
to
don't come
take
from that
the lyrics out of court now because the people because there's evidence in their music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So they don't try to use it.
Yeah.
But again, back to what I was saying with, it's no, the content is horrible. The content is, and then it's going in that kid's ear and that kid's rapping it to his friend and his friend. Now these 3 10-year-olds are just talking about what? Nothing.
And they
It
burnt
makes
out.
nothing. So
no, and then you see little children. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5-year-old children, little girls twerking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dance, but that's for adult women,
Yeah.
adult entertainment type. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Be a
type of
kid.
dance.
Be a kid. I used to love real kids. I still love the kids, but I'm saying, you see a little kid and he's really a kid. You're like, okay, love him. But then, you got that bad kid and you just kind of distant from him. Even though he's a kid, you want to love him and hug him. But he's just got so much anger in that little spirit. And it ain't for you to break him, it's for the parents to. Now, I ain't saying I don't help other kids around because we do a lot for the community, but it starts at home. We always go back to that. It starts at home.
I work at a nonprofit organization, and my first job coming out of prison after serving 17 years was being a youth mentor. And but I had realized quick that the youth of today were like the youth when I grew up with. There's different challenges, different obstacles, there's different struggles. So I had to become a student. It wasn't about me coming in and telling you what is and what ain't. I had to learn from you, so I came in there as their student because
Right.
the only way I was going to be able to advise them and guide them was to know what it is that they was going through.
Right.
You know, I come, you know, Southwest Detroit is, you know, we have a large population of undocumented people. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We have a lot of kids who their parents were undocumented. They were deported and sent back to their countries, and the kids are being raised by neighbors and grandparents and
Right.
siblings. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's like, you know, showing love, showing support, you know, creating a safe space and a safe place for, you know, these kids to be able to come and get a peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I talked about doing something like that with the kids after school. I had a lot of things that I'm going to put in the works. I know I got it wrote down, and I know where I'm going with it. But I think, like, you know, kids get abused when they get home. Some of them don't eat. So, you know, I want to set up a place where they can come eat, maybe do their homework,
Yeah.
get the stuff off their back before they get home to the mess.
Oh, so you
you
trying to
know.
make something similar like Boys and Girls Club that y'all have?
Something like that, but more strict on the come in with the homework.
Right.
We're going to do for you. We're going to feed you. We're going to do everything that you would do if you went home. We're going to feed you, give you a little TV, do your homework, give you some relax, just in case you may be getting flux or something that's cruel going on in the household.
Right.
Maybe
Man.
you can balance it out a little.
Man, listen, we got to set up a time because I would love to give you guys a tour of the Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation.
Definitely.
It's a huge place. We got robotics program. We got a Best Buy Teen Tech Center. We got a huge green screen. We got a state-of-the-art recording studio in there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I would love for you guys to come in there, check out the space,
Yeah.
see where you fit in, maybe get some ideas so when you're in a position to start putting stuff together.
Right.
But yeah, we take all those things into consideration. We pick kids up from school, we bring them in, we feed them, you know, we give them space. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of multiple kids in these households, and you got the kids raising the kids.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The oldest one is 10, 11, 12 years old, and he taking care of the 3, 4 siblings up under him. He ain't even had time to enjoy youth or
Right.
being a kid because he already got so much responsibility.
Already.
You know, whether, you know, the parents are just working or whether the parents are alcoholics or on drugs or it's a single parent home or well, however it goes. You know, when they come to our agency, we want them to know that this is a place where you're safe, where you can rest, where you can take a nap, you know what I'm saying, where
Yeah.
you can be fed and people here care about you, you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I'm trying to set up, too.
But it's just like you said, man, when they go back home, it's like we don't know what they enduring. We don't know what they seeing.
don't
You know,
know.
they got drug addicts, domestic violence, they got alcoholism, all these things going on in their home.
My mom used to tell me, don't get on the bus messing with that kid because you don't know what he went through the night before.
Oh yeah,
So, you
for
know,
real.
it's now we're starting to see it. I don't want to say we had mental health when we was coming up as bad because we had more outsources to
Oh, yeah.
and resources to mess with. But you can see the kid now that was bullied and mad or traumatized at home. He comes to school and he shoots up the school. You know what I mean? So we trying to if we put in place what we talking about, we can avoid some of that. Some
Oh,
of
yeah,
this, some
definitely.
you know, and sit them down. And after they get a good meal and they do their homework, you need to talk to somebody. Like I say, if you get home, you can balance it out. You can say, well, I'm gonna get a beating when I get home, but my homework's done. I got a nice meal, and I know I got somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
I only say that because we can't save everybody and we can't take everybody, and they have to go home.
yeah,
Right.
for real.
But you can make their life a little bit more peaceful.
But it just seemed like
traumatized.
today's youth, man, even children, bro, they're so angry, bro.
Yeah.
They're angry, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I hold us accountable for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but I just hate to see that, and that's why I do like healing circles with the youth. I hold community healing circles because I feel like, you know, we've endured so much trauma, you know, or inherited so much trauma.
That's what we
You know
do.
what I'm saying? That nobody knows where to start, and that's why I you know, the difference in my podcast and everybody else is you have the opportunity to have conversations here that you're not having at home. You can have the conversations here that you're not having at school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the things that really matter.
Right.
You know, I've had guests who, you know, start talking about their past and become very emotional because they haven't talked about these things in 20, 30 years.
Right.
You have people who haven't seen their siblings and parents in 20, 30 years because of the resentment that they carry because of the experience or whatever it is that they went through.
Right.
And I'm trying to break those vicious cycles, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And start getting back into the tradition of love and unity and support for
Yeah.
one another, you
Yeah.
know?
You said something real important, inherited. people gotta understand that sometimes you get that pain from back. It's deep. I got some of it. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you know, at the nonprofit where I work at, we have a program. It's called Inception. It's the mental health gym. Shout out to Tina and David McCullough. They're sponsored by Rosario Dawson and Charlemagne the God.
Shout out to yeah, I know Rosario.
Yeah, and you know, it's a mental health gym. We do red light therapy, which helps with inflammation and swelling and blood flow. We have what's it called, the Magnosphere. The Magnosphere is to help you stay grounded, and then we have like a chair that you sit in, and they clip on things to your earlobes and onto your hair pieces, and the computer will read and show you what the brain looks like without trauma, and then shows you what the brain looks like and how it responds to trauma. And you know, it's been every opportunity I get, we get half-hour sessions. I jump in there because you know the work that I do. You know, when you're dealing with the community and all their problems, you know, every time I'm dealing with the client in some way or some form, I can relate to their trauma, and then it triggers my trauma. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, at the end of the day, I feel like everything that I've endured, everything that I went through, was not for nothing. You know, because now, you know, being home and just having conversations with brothers like you know what I'm saying, where we can build and move past them types of things and heal the hood one story at a time. You know,
that's a good way to look at it. I always taught Jay, you know, I grew up a fighting child, 90s kid, a little wilder than my son, but I you know, if I would have had some of the foundation that he had, I ain't saying I ain't have a great mom and father, but it was, you know, like they was born in the 40s. One was born in the 40s, the other was they older. So what they said went. If you didn't want to eat what they cooked, you wasn't gonna eat. You know, the kids nowadays have more flexibility. My son be trying to tell me, Dad, it's a different generation, we're a little different, which I try to look at it like that. But with the old school ways, man, it's kind of like, you know, some type of way we got to get back to that. And it ain't about, you know, I took a lot of whoopings, like most of the people in my generation, but I think we got to get back outside the whoopings, just the stability. And the man, you know, they trying to change the man up. And I'm not sitting here trying to bash no communities or who I want to make that clear. I have no problem with none of that. But the man in that house got to raise that little boy. That man, that uncle, whether it be that father, that you got to have some type of man in there to raise that little boy.
That male structure.
It counts.
You know, when we grew up, you know, and that's the thing about today's generation is they ask questions. You know, that was a privilege that we didn't have growing up. We weren't allowed to ask questions. You do as I say, not as I do. You do what I tell you.
Question might get your lip busted.
And we be having conversations. My dad be like, "Oh, man, look, what you just said to me, your granddad would have lost his mind."
My dad was strict.
Everything was about respect. Respect your elders, you know what I'm saying? And you don't talk back, like all that type of stuff. Like, so today is different. When I see things like that, I'm like, you know, we had to get back to them lifting, you know, our standards, you know, and our morale, because it seems like now it's just anything goes. You know?
I say this too. I make jokes about this, and it's not against mental health, but you know, they blame a lot of it on mental health. You know, so this dude did this, is mental. There's something wrong with mental. Well, maybe when we was getting them whoopings and them beat downs, we wasn't doing it. And I ain't saying it was good, but we was structured, like you said, and we knew that if we did that crazy, then moms and pops gonna bust us up, which kept us in line. And again, I'm not saying either way is it, you know, I don't condone beating on your child, but you know,
but see, that was the problem, is that, you know, a lot of adults were taking a lot of their anger and their frustrations out on their kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love my mother. She's one of the most admirable women that I know. But, you know, my mom was still living from trauma from when my father used to beat her. So as a child, every time I did something wrong, like my mom would, you know, she would give it to me. You know what I'm saying? And but you know, and as I grew up, I'm like, that little shit I did not deserve, you know what I'm saying, a busted nose and a mouth and that ass whooping I just took. Like, that shit didn't add up, you know what I'm saying? But I realized that that's why it's important for the adults to start healing, because all that resentment that they have, you know, and then I look just like my father, you know what I'm
So
saying?
you
So
took
it's
like,
like,
that's me. That's just
you
like
know,
me.
and it's like you got this grudge against my father and what he did to you, and I look just like him. Now every time I do something wrong, I'm getting shit that ain't really meant for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that.
So that's why I think that it is great that there is accountability today, and you know what I'm saying, and the youth and the kids do have an avenue of some type of you know, protection for themselves,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I listen to my son, and that's how I keep up with the. I ain't saying I'm losing it, but you know, I need to be pepped up sometimes on the trends and different things. And you're right, we do gotta listen to them. And I wish my parents, like you say with yours, would have listened to us a little more.
Oh, but
it didn't happen.
I will say this since we being real.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know,
it's called real
when
everyday
I was
people.
younger, me and my dad had our you know little like spats, and
Mhm.
I had to understand him too. So it wasn't just him trying to understand us. I had to understand him too. So as soon as I got older and realized like, oh, what I was doing back then, I really shouldn't have been doing.
Mhm.
So I had to understand him too.
It's just because a lot of times we've done things and been places that you guys don't know about.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we can foretell what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Had he would not have guided you and advised you and supported you and sent you in a different direction, your career could have went in a whole different direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it could have been self-sabotage, self-destructive, or just destructive in general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He taught you how to tap into your own personal gift and walk in your own purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be the best that you can be. You're doing things that everybody can't do or is willing to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why I applaud you, and that's why so many
Thank
people respect you, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and support you.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
You know?
Thank you. Appreciate you, boss.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it's been
dope.
the journey is everything. You know, I tell people all the time, it's this. The journey. You meet good people, you open up nice nice doors and avenues, but you meet good people and you strive to be, you know, I strive him to be the best at what he do, and I tell him, you know, your life, I don't put the rapper. One thing I will say, and I always tell him this, your health and who you are means more to me than you picking up a mic. So if he goes somewhere and we on stage, for instance, he say, Dad, I really don't want to do this show, I probably, you know, why? And if he give me an explanation where I feel like it's reasonable, we won't do the show.
That's dope.
So yeah,
That's
so
good.
it's all called on him. And you know, now that you know we got Trick involved, I know that we won't. You know, things will be put where they need to be put if I can't put them there. And I don't say that in a physical or mean way. It's just if I don't know, Trick will know.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I mean, that's the blessing of networking and getting to know people. And when you guys are all on the same page and everybody support each other and everybody got one mission and one goal, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, you're determined to be successful. And sometimes you got to make adjustments, you know, to make it work. But hey, whatever it takes, you know. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, it's a lot of people, they think that because of the name of my podcast is El Nino Podcast, it is specifically for Latino people. And I'm like, no, not at all. You know what I'm saying? This is called Real Everyday People, and we come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. You know what I'm saying? And we come from all walks of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, I love being able to network. I love being able to build. I love everybody's stories being documented right now and being told to other people, because you never know. There's somebody in your position right now that don't know what the next decision or what the next move's going to be, and they hearing your story and they hearing your father's story, and they like, you know what? Now I got it. You know?
Yeah.
I wanted to also add that, you know, the song that Trick and Jay is working on, be out soon. We're still working a little bit on some nicks and kinks. I let a little promo go, man, and he hit 1 million views on Facebook twice in the last week.
It's technically 2 million.
Yeah,
so
man, you guys are
technically
killing
2
it,
mil,
bro.
yeah.
How long have you guys been doing this stuff for?
Well, I say Jay, yeah, we have these.
Okay, I like to tell people that I've been doing it 10 plus years because it make it sound cool. So,
I know he been beating on it. You know, if he counts, he's beating on the you know, in the lunch
freestyle with your
room
friends at lunchtime.
Oh,
but
yeah,
then
yeah. But that's where it
back then-
begins.
Yeah,
That's
but
but his-
then I was throwing my own talent shows back then too. So
Okay.
that's why I said I started back then, because who else was throwing their own talent shows at
I
age
know,
15?
yeah.
I mean,
sure.
yeah, I mean, and I applaud my son for doing it because it ended up a nice talent show, and him and his friend, they had a good time, and he put it together. But you know, I start April of 2015 because that was the first time he got his award, and he really established himself as a rapper, and it was in Detroit's Got Talent.
What establishes you as a rapper?
I'm just saying, it was a show. It was one of his real shows, to where, you know, we put it out there. It was like, you know, you rapping against grown men, and it was a lot of people, and he ended up coming in the finals and getting an award. It was April 2015, and he was like this, and he was young, and I feel like that was the beginning. But that's just me. He got his own perception. It is what it is.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. But the thing about it is, numbers don't lie. Y'all been putting in work for some years. You know, I've been at this since I got out of prison, man. I've been doing this for a little over 3 years, and you know, I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? But it just gets discouraging, especially in times right now, because you know, life is expensive right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? It costs me $500 a month to run this program here, and it's like. It's like, man, you know, if I don't come up with that bread, I can't do
what I
this.
love,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And it's like, I've been reaching out, like, to everybody, family, friends, community, you know what I'm saying, for donations, for sponsorship, anything. And as much as everybody loves it, it's like everybody's really in the same boat. You know what I'm saying?
It's tight.
And it's
Don't
just,
give up on it. I will say that, because we had sponsors come late. Just keep striving. You know, it's like I said, I'm on the set. It feels beautiful. We've been on. It feels like a TV set, man. And
know.
It's great. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like probably the nicest podcast we've been on. We've been on several.
yeah.
But you
Man,
know,
that makes me feel good,
just
man.
keep
Thank you,
on
brother. I
pushing, man.
appreciate
Keep on-
that,
I'm
man.
loving
I'll probably
it, man.
say this one, and my man that got the garage. With my,
Yeah. Detroit's
Unplugged.
Unplugged, but you know, it's not like El Nino.
Oh.
I say that because
It's more space.
it's space. It's you can see the work,
Mhm.
just like how you see the work. We see the work. And shout out to Detroit Unplugged. That was my guy. He went through some issues too, and I don't want to touch on those issues, but that was a podcast. It was a great podcast, but I really haven't felt comfortable. And after
Nobody
him,
else
with no
home.
podcast
Yeah.
until we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So appreciate for having us. It feels good.
Oh
being
man,
here.
I'm honored. I'm a privilege. I feel privileged by it. And I want people to see who you guys are. I want people to know your journey. I want people to support you. You know what I'm saying? Like
sir.
everything you put out, I'm sharing it. I'm
Yeah.
subscribing. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in what you do. Like I
appreciate
said, man, it was very inspiring, bro. And then your performance on the Detroit Princess, bro. I was like.
Man.
Didn't know what to expect, you know what I'm saying? But when you went in, you captivated
See,
everybody,
we
bro.
We didn't know either, because it was like towards the end, and everybody was scattered everywhere. There was some people outside on the balcony, or some people upstairs. So we didn't really know how the crowd was gonna draw to us. So Pops was just like, "Go out there, do your thing," you know what I mean? Because when we look at crowds and stuff, we always look at the media and cameras, and you know, he was like, just go out there and shoot, act like every camera on you. And then once I started doing my thing, we get to the second song, every camera was actually on me. So,
Yeah,
That was
so,
pretty dope,
it was
man.
pretty cool.
Again, that was an event with Serenity and Moms. That was invite us again. It was beautiful.
ain't no doubt about it. I'm gonna be having a event December 15th. It's gonna be the El Nino Podcast Reunion. It'll be my second year. I'll
dope.
definitely be sending you guys an invitation.
Hey,
But I've
there
been
we
really
go.
wanting to be diverse in my performances. Like, it's a lot of people out there, especially in my community, who they sing, they dance, they
Yeah.
rap, they do all these things. But I love exclusive shit. You know
Right.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I'm sorry, I know you don't be cussing. but,
you
you
No,
know.
good, you
no,
good.
no.
Come on,
But,
man, you good.
I still cuss a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a little bit.
But I would love to see you there, man. And maybe if you have the time, bro, maybe you can, display some of your talent, bro. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
That's
I'll
what's
definitely
up.
make it to you.
Yeah,
That's what's
I
up.
would love to see it, man, because it's awesome. You were like a superstar, bro. You know what I'm
you.
saying?
Yeah,
For real.
Appreciate it.
And,
Yup.
it wasn't always like like the so the competition he talking about that I was in with the grown men. I had a 2-step. So instead of me like actually working the stage, I was like one of those rappers that was just moving back and forth, spinning my butt. Like I had to have my dad.
Big Herc was our judge too. Shout out Big Herc.
Yeah, Herc was a judge too.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I came a long way from the 2-step. I spent a lot of nights in the basement just with the music on, and I had the remote in my hand just going out.
I'm gonna tell you what station that was. What was Detroit's?
Was it WJLB?
No. What was Detroit's local TV station back then? That it was.
One WXYZ.
No, it was none of those. It was.
CBS.
No, what was that?
It was a late night. It was one of them late night TV shows. You know when you. Yeah, I can't remember, but it had nothing to do with no. It was like TV 20, kind of like
something like that.
Yeah, but it was first TV, and we caught it late. It came on late. We had everybody watching it. Me and Moms was kind of like, "Oh, our baby on TV," but it was almost what you call it, late infomercial hours though. So
I had friends that we had school with the next day. I was like, "Stay up, I'm gonna be on in there." They was like, "Man, it's like 12:30 at night. We still ain't seeing you." And then when they finally see me, it was like, "Oh, that was dope." So so the next day at school, I was pretty much the man. So
we did a lot of TV since then though. TV is different. You know, when you're into it, you see how the magic and other things. But I mean, it's cool.
I think you should do a collab with Baby Bell, man. I know you met Baby Bell on that Detroit Princess, bro.
Yeah.
She be killing it. She's very talented. She's got a very angelic voice. And, you know, I just think that both of you guys being young and creative, like you guys could put a masterpiece together, bro.
I told her she was dope, and then I told her I liked the way she sung that Selena song. She was like, "Oh yeah, I love Selena." So I've had contacts with her through Instagram and stuff. So we could probably make that happen. But I've been trying to contact her. She be busy, I be busy, but we definitely
no
make
doubt.
it work.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Once I give you guys that tour of the Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation, man, we'll lock it in. You know what I'm saying? That way you see what we got there, and we can make all the magic happen right then and there.
For sure, I'm down.
Yep, no doubt about it. So let me ask you this, bro. What do you think about today's generation and the violence? I mean, I understand that we live in a bloodthirsty society where the answer to every dispute is violence. Somebody got to get shot. Somebody got to be killed. Why do you think that this generation carries that mentality?
Okay, let me tell you. For one, music has a huge influence.
Definitely.
And I believe it because I love Icewear Vezo, bro. Like, that's probably, you know, my favorite, you know, guy right now. And people say it ain't influential, but every time I put Vezo on, my whole mind state. You know what I'm saying? I perk up, I sit up, you know, I start going a little fast.
Talking about like the
money phone.
Like
every time my line ring, this 10-5 money phone. Yeah,
that was classic. I actually got to see him in concert when that song first came out.
Yeah, we actually opened up for him, and I was like,
I'm in the front. I got a video where I'm in the front with him. Like, he right next to me. I'm like, put the money. I got my own little money phone out, but it's more of a money beeper. It ain't a phone. I had a money beeper. It was kind of small, but I put it up there, you know. But it was cool.
I was in the joint when he came out with all them songs. That's when I got hip to him. In the joint, money phone, clarity, all that. I was
Clarity
like, dang,
was
he's hard.
Clarity
So
was
when I
classic.
came home, I've been banging him ever since. But when I do though, it do something to me. It my whole mind shift, my whole posture shift. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know.
Oh man. Well, as far as the violence now, it's terrible. Cause what's it about a month ago? Dang, that might have been longer than that. What about Dallas?
What?
How long ago was that?
Been a couple months. Just say a couple months.
So a couple months ago, I lost my cousin to gun violence.
Okay,
Dallas
man, I'm
was
sorry
15,
to hear about
16?
that.
16.
Dallas, so shout out to my cousin Dallas, rest in peace, love you. But he was 16 years old, and he lost his life to incident that happened at a gas station. And there was bystanders that got involved that got hurt too. And I just feel, and it was over something as simple as, you know, like road rage and stuff like that. So I just feel like it gets out of hand, man. And Pops was telling me, you know, back then y'all didn't have to worry about that. Back in y'all times of partying, y'all didn't have to worry about people shooting up the party.
I mean,
or
people
the
got
club or
shot.
whatever.
It was just rare.
Right. But I'm saying that happens a lot more often than it should.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't happen at all.
It just
but-
seemed like it's reckless. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I grew up as a gang member in a gang, active gang in the 90s. Everybody was in motion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But and it's not to try to distinguish or justify why we did what we did, but I guess it was more managed. You know what I'm saying? The damage that was done. As today, it's like every man for himself. You know, like there is no rules, there is no respect, there is no standards, there is no morals. It's kill or be killed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, to be able to wake up, you know, with that on your mind every day, like you can never have peace, you can never have rest. And then when you're a teenager and you have to live like that, you know what I'm saying? I be going all through the east side, west side, bro. I'm all through the communities, and you see these houses, bro, they got bullet holes all through them, windows shot out, and the kids, they only 14, 15, 16, and I'm like, man, this is so sad, and it's so unfortunate because there's so many of them that have talent or potential or the possibility to do something and be successful. But how is it that you can dream big when you're surrounded by everything that's so small? You know what I'm saying?
They ain't
So
had no
many of our
outlets.
people are impoverished mentally. You know what I'm saying? Mentally impoverished, where we can't even think past the block. You
Well,
know?
these kids ain't got no resources or no outlets, man. I mean, they just out there. And then it don't help that every 6 blocks you got a dispensary. You got that liquor store. You got the average drug dealer.
Yeah.
And so you can it's community. To me, I think it's sort of biased too. And we're gonna speak on your culture and my culture. They shooting it in both our cultures. Now, this ain't a white, black, or Spanish or any of that. It's just the areas they want to put it in. Whether you stay there, and whatever you are culturally, if you stay there, that's what you get. They're gonna put it in them where they want it to be and where they want to keep it down. And I just think that, you know, that some of the kids don't got a chance when you ain't got nowhere to go. You have no gyms but 12 dispensaries. You have 30 dispensaries and no school around it. You know, it's just sometimes it's kind of, to me, like the kids, they start off with no hope.
It's kind of like you remember that example you said. You said it's a group of young teens riding together late night. Could be about 4 or 5 of them. What are they bound to get into, depending on what they doing? You know what I mean? So remember.
And then how they conduct themselves when they're under the influence of weed and getting drunk and alcohol and lean and, you know, pills and everything else that they do. You know
Access
what I'm
to
saying?
everything,
You
but
know,
resources.
that changes your whole character. You know, when I was younger, we had a couple rec centers, but it really wasn't nothing but a gathering spot. Like it wasn't,
Just to hang
there was
out.
nothing educational. Like today.
But it kept you out the streets. It kept you, you know, unlike our gathering spots was like, that's how we kicked it, because we didn't have phones, we didn't have text messages. It was just like that was our communion. So it kept us around each other. Let's hoop a little bit. Hey, let's go out to eat. So we had to actually interact with ourselves. Technology, to me, you know, this is me, is destroying the world.
It
and
did
eventually will destroy the world all the way around.
It did a disservice to humanity.
Yes, it did.
You know what I'm saying? Because people don't even got to know you or like you or hug
out
you
about
or you know what I'm saying?
Find out
And then
everything
people
about
would
you.
judge you without knowing. And it's just, you know, I know that the idea of having access to the world at your tip of your fingers was a great idea, but I don't think that anybody realized, you know, the damage that would be done because of it. You know what I'm saying? There's a huge disconnect in bonding and communication and all that type of stuff because of it, you know? And now people are becoming a product of that.
Yeah.
You know, you have more people who are having identity crisis now because they don't know, you know, where they're, you know, what to identify with, who they are, what they want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, you know, it's sad and it's unfortunate, but every day I just got to continue to be the example, man. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we all play a piece. You a piece of the puzzle, we a piece of the puzzle, and we just got to try to put it together. Like I say, we need more male leaders, more resources, more male leaders, and again, we got to get back to the females, man. What we were talking about with the rap thing and all the women, I want more Michelle Obamas and Viola Davises than Sexy Reds. And that's what we got to teach our kids. I want my daughter not to be like Sexy Red. I want her to be in a business suit. Whatever she chooses to do, give her an option. Just don't be like that. And I'm not saying I don't, like I say, we speak on these people, but we don't know them. But the image that's put out there, you don't want for your own. So
it's just, I just, the thing about it is when they put out the message that the value is in the beauty or the sex or, you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff, instead of the value of the person, the spirit of life, you know,
Love,
the gratitude,
longevity.
love.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in the joint, you know, a lot of younger people, I never heard them talk about relationships or love.
They
It
don't.
was the B's and the H's, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Man,
yeah.
I got a couple B's, I got a couple H's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, bro, like y'all don't even refer to women with no respect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then I feel like, you know, the women do a disservice to themselves because
They don't respect themselves too.
Yeah.
I mean,
time.
and the same with a lot of the fellas out there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They ain't really showing as if they value themselves. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's really unfortunate right now is that people are not valuing themselves and they're not cultivating, you know, the things that are good for them and that are righteous for them. Because it's like if you positive, you soft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, you positive.
You
hell,
walk
you want-
away, you soft,
you know.
it's, and that's what I was teaching my son too. So it's not all about fighting all the time. I didn't know that. Now I sat over here and I can say it on the podcast. I've been stabbed, almost died. I've been hit with bottles, bats, shot at, anything you can imagine. And if I could go back and do it differently, I would. Because like you say, we're sitting there talking. That's traumatizing to my brain.
And you appreciate things different when you've been through a lot of that.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely do.
Bro, a couple weeks ago, I went and I visited this 14-year-old girl. She went to prom, got shot. Didn't have nothing to do with her, but she got shot
Yeah.
a couple times in her legs. But instead of being like, you know what, man, I need to change. I need to transition. I need to change my crowd. The attitude was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm hard to kill. You know, I'm like Tupac, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, it's a 14-year-old female, bro. You know what I'm saying? That has that mentality. And I'm like, man, I'm like, do you know that we could have been at your funeral right now? We could be attending a funeral right now. Your family could be making T-shirts of you right now.
I'm pretty sure that 14-year-old though has seen a lot and probably living with pain, because you don't think that way. Like when I tell my son at 16, you know, he lost his cousin and all that, and they you know, they dying younger than that. At 15, 16, I wasn't thinking about dying. I wasn't thinking about shooting nobody. I was getting that box lunch, trying to find a basketball to play with my friends.
Riding your bike to the gas station, probably riding it right
And then
back home.
and then I want to touch this too. They always say, well, you know, you talk about this and that, but back then, again, with the Cuban, they said, but I'm going to tell you what was different with the rap music back then, with them saying the B's and the H's. It really wasn't no different than the women doing it. But back then, we had R&B a lot harder. It sort of balanced the industry. So if you didn't want to hear that hardcore rapper, you can go listen to Keith Sweat. You can go listen to Johnny Gill. You might even want to tap into Luther. It was a balance. There's no balance right now in the game. I will say that.
Everything is turned up.
Everything is turned up. So everybody that asked me that question, it was a balance. R&B balances, we kind of swayed away from it. I'm hoping it's swinging back, but
R&B come back a little bit.
a little
On the
bit.
couple
Shout out to
R&B,
Chris Brown. That's who we really want to work
R&B
with.
artists.
Chris
Yeah.
Brown is probably.
And that's what I was going to ask
best
you. If there was
artist.
ever an artist that you could work with, who would it be?
In the world, like ever.
Ever, whoever. If you had the choice to pick one
man.
artist you could work with, make a song with, do a feature with, who would it be? And why?
I'd probably say Justin Bieber. Now that is a huge
Justin
man,
Bieber,
people
okay.
probably gonna get on me about
That's
that
a superstar, though.
Only be I'd probably
Management
say
don't
Justin
disagree.
Bieber. He said management don't disagree.
But Chris Brown would have been a better
no,
choice.
No, but I just feel like, for one, I've been a huge fan of Justin since I was like younger. So to me, he was like the first internet sensation to be that young doing it. So he was like 13, getting hundreds of million views on YouTube. He was like he's the most viewed artist on YouTube like ever.
But I don't think he's hotter than Chris right now.
Yeah, he's the most viewed artist on YouTube ever.
Yeah, but do you think he's hotter than Chris?
Yes.
Do you think he's hotter than Chris?
I think they both got their own lane.
Yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
feel.
If we talking
They
about
both
fan
in their
bases
own
though,
lane.
that's why I say that.
I mean,
Chris
Justin Bieber, he's the
Brown
man.
name a
Chris
little
Brown,
tainted,
he's
that
he's
is
the
a little
man.
bit.
But Chris, I
Justin
get
Bieber's
it.
never
I
really
get
been
it.
tainted.
But then if you gonna go back and forth with them, then where J. Cole come in at, bro?
Oh, J. Cole's a beast for
J. Cole
sure.
probably number 2. Yeah, J. Cole number 2.
Yeah, J.
Yeah,
Cole was.
definitely.
I know that's what motivates. That's why I said
Yeah,
it.
J. Cole, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. I really want a Lil Wayne feature before he retire on me.
Ooh,
I
that
really
would be
do.
cold. Yeah, definitely.
Wayne and J. Cole is my top 2 favorite rappers of all time. Well, and Eminem.
Shout out to
Okay.
Lil Wayne, and they actually.
So
share
tell
the
me
same
this:
birthday.
who's one of your old school favorite rappers? Like
Ooh, Nas.
you like Nas? Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Illmatic.
there. That's conscious rap, baby.
Stillmatic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely Nas.
I'll tell you what, man. Let them know where they can find you, where they can look you up, find your music, get in touch with you if they want to do a feature, whatever it may be.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Official Kid J. You can follow me everywhere at either Kid J or Official Kid J. And yeah, appreciate y'all for the support. Go ahead, Pops.
Diamond Cut Management. I just, I try to help out in school, because I got my own distribution too, where I can put your music on all platforms, 118 altogether, even in the JPay in jail. So all the young artists that's out there that want to do something positive and you got great content, contact me, please.
There it is, man. Definitely an honor and a privilege to have you guys here. It was an
Thank
absolute treat building with you guys, getting to know you guys. And like I said, man, I'm looking forward to the future, what we can do together, build some bridges, make something happen.
Yes, sir.
Big shout out to my brother Zoe at LA Landscaping. Shout out to my man Danny Reyna at Concrete Construction. And big shout out to my man hashtag Mr. Not Guilty, Edward Martell. If you catch you a case and you in some trouble, man, holler at my man. He'll get you together. And please, man, take a look at them sponsorship sheets, man. See what worked for you, man. Look out for your brother, man. Much love to you guys. Be safe. Enjoy it. I love October. Go to the cider mills. Get you some cider donuts. Go to the pumpkin patch. Go have all that good fun, man. Because I'll tell you what, man. Life is beautiful and it's worth living every minute of it, man. Much love to you
Indeed.
guys. See you guys. Nope, not next week, but the week after that. I'll be in Tampa. I'm going to see the Lions in Tampa game. My brothers are taking me. Looking forward to it. I'm excited about
Go
it.
Lions.
Definitely been going hard since I've been home, and I feel like I deserve this trip. I want to have so much fun. So I'll see you guys the week after that, man. Southwest Cho is on deck. So much love to you guys, and we'll see you soon.